These Gatos here. In this video, we're going to look at what happens when I have a graph and I want to match some characteristics about that graph to it. Let's get started, first of all, with the fact that the graph opens up. I know that when a graph opens up, that means that my leading coefficient A is positive. In other words, it is greater than 0. So let's look at my options. Well, all of them are greater than 0, so that doesn't really help me. So let's try another characteristic. I know since it opens up and it continues infinitely in both directions, it will eventually cross the y-axis. So since I see that it doesn't cross the negative y-axis, I know that it will have a positive y-intercept. Well, if you look at the equation, what is tied to the y-intercept is the lonely number, the constant, the initial value of c. So I know that c must also be greater than 0. So it could be this option or this. So we can knock off b and d. So let's look at the other piece that we're given. We're given that b squared minus 4ac is either going to be greater than or less than 0. Well, I know that to be the discriminant. So if I look in my quadratic equation, opposite b plus or minus the square root, b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. This gives me my x-intercepts. Well, if you look down here, we do not have any x-intercepts. So no x-intercepts means that there are no real solutions. Now, the reason that there's no real solutions or solutions in the real number system is because we're trying to do something that we're not allowed to do in the real number system. When it comes to the quadratic, I look at the square root and I see, this square root here. If I was trying to square root a negative number, that's not allowed in the real number system. So I know that my discriminant must be negative. So b squared minus 4ac, that whole thing must be negative or less than 0 to have no real roots. So if you look at here, there it is less than 0. So I know A is the correct answer. This quadratic opens up, so A is positive y-intercept, so C is positive, no real roots. So I also know that my discriminant must be negative. So I hope this video helped, and I look forward to seeing you for the next one.